So you can see with this photo reference, if you lay this, I just have this pinned in on this board. I found the eye level of the person who took the photo, which was myself, and I have a pin right here, and I put a string up just to represent my eye level, and that string is green, and I even used green tacks to represent it. Then what I've done to illustrate how the 2-point vanishing points slide on here is that I've put pins up that are the same color for each of the boxes. So this is my 1-point box, and it's going to the central vanishing point on the eye level. This box, then the second box right here, I lay this down, it's going to the red. I lay this down, it's going to the red pins. So why I'm showing you this is because no matter what, I have these boxes that are not all lined up, so they're not going to go to the same 2 vanishing points. But what will happen is that the vanishing points will fall on the same eye level, because my eye level is never going to change, and the cone of vision, or the distance between the vanishing points for the 2-point boxes, is going to be the same. So with this photograph, it's really easy to see that, because I have my 1-point box, but now my 2-point box is going to this box right here, which is like the second box, is going to the red pins. This box is the third box. And it is going to the yellow pins. So if you line it up, you can see it goes to the yellow pins. And then this last box would be my 4th box. It's going to the blue pins. So what you notice is that the yellow is the same distance as the red, is the same distance as the blue. They slide along that eye level. So when you are, whether you're using strings or whether you are just sighting your angles, which really that's what you do with strings anyways, you have to establish where your eye level is, and you have to make sure that when you go to lay your sighting stick down, that it is going to vanishing points that fall on the eye level that are the same distance as the other 2-point boxes that are on this same page. Because when you start drawing something or you take a photograph of something, you're standing in the exact same spot. So your eye level never changes, and your cone of vision doesn't change. So that's how sliding vanishing points work, and that's going to be really important in order to be able to do a drawing that's like this. And so just understanding that when you go to sight your angles, it's important. If you're doing this from a photo reference, it's easy to scale this up. It's also just as easy if you do a small sketch, like a thumbnail sketch. Figure out your vanishing points and make sure that everything is working, and then you can scale up and you can remember that, so it can make it a little bit easier when you go to sight your angles if you want to just double check, especially if you are moving away from using strings to check. So if I want to go in and want to measure, if I'm measuring from like this distance, it's 20, each of these are about 20, they're like 27 inches apart. So what that is going to mean is that if I am doubling this, so scaling it up times 2, that it's going to be, I'm going to multiply 27 times 2 to get my new distance between them. So that can help in just understanding how far they should be apart on my new piece of paper, if that's the way that I'm going. So the other thing that you have to remember if you're scaling up from this is that if your eye level is here, if you're going up if you're scaling up, that your eye level is going to go up that amount. So if you're scaling up like 1.5, it's going to go up 1.5 times. If you're scaling up by 2, then it's going to be twice as high when you go onto your new piece of paper. So from where your ground line is starting. So just remember that your cone of vision goes bigger, and so does your eye level. Everything does. So when you scale up, everything goes out further, up higher. So you can't just look at this and say my eye level is here. It's going to be exactly here on my new piece of paper, because my new piece of paper is going to be bigger. And so when I go onto my new piece of paper and bigger, if the piece of paper is the same orientation, it might be in the same ratio, but you have to think about from wherever that ground line is, it's going to get bigger. So everything scales up or down, but it has to stay in the same orientation and in the same dimension.